is awesome. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Show, and I would
sweat.
Be on. So the sun would be right in my eyes. I'd be. Hello, this is the Weather Commander. Okay, very good.
This is a special. This is a special edition of Channel 3 Eyewitness News with total solar eclipse coverage.
Wow, can you feel the excitement in the air? Good afternoon, Tennessee Valley. Thanks so much for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News. I'm Latrice Curry. It is the big day so many have been waiting for, August 21st, the total solar eclipse. And we have team coverage for you over the next hour.
We have crews throughout Chattanooga, also in Spring City. Just a few of those crews we'll be checking in with in just a moment. But first, let's see what's going on with David Carnes and a look at your solar eclipse forecast. We were just standing outside on what we affectionately call Paul's porch, watching the shadow come, and with our
we had our glasses
much
on, so
sought
Greg
after
and I,
glasses,
like this,
watch the eclipse
so we were looking
come
up.
forward.
Yeah.
So David, we ended up with a beautiful day out there.
And then there's Paul right now, Chief Meteorologist Paul Bears, who is outside now. Let's check in with him. And of course, the sun is shining. Hey, Paul.
That's right. The sun is shining, but it's not as bright as it was about a half hour ago. We've got, there's an eerie darkness starting to form, right even across Chattanooga as we speak. As far as the weather goes, you couldn't have asked for anything better. There are a few cumulus clouds that are moving on the satellite for you. You should be able to see some of those. They're right along the ridges. Mainly up into Bledsoe County, Sequatchie County, also up into the Cumberland Plateau areas, so Bledsoe County, Sequatchie County, a few puffy cumulus all the way into the Blue Ridge Mountains, but few and far between. It's about 92%, 95% coverage of sunshine. So this weather is just about perfect. Temperature's going to be warm, but you're going to notice a cool down in the next hour or so. There's going to be a little lag in these temperatures, so the temperatures will start to drop once we get that, especially north of the city, really north of Soddy Daisy, north of Cleveland, all through that area where the total eclipse is going to be. So have a wonderful time out there. Make sure you wear your glasses, and it's going to be a great time for everybody. It's already getting a little eerie out here as the moon is going over the sun. We're about halfway done there. It's almost about 50% coverage right now of the moon over the sun. And we'll be back later in about a half hour from now. And we'll let you know.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. We're going to check back in with you in just a bit. But of course, let's get back out to Spring City and let's go to where we'll find David and Cindy. And of course, the city is in the path of totality for the solar eclipse. It's probably a little busy out there right now.
You think that a crowd has gathered. David, Cindy, what do you see?
Well, I can tell you what we're feeling right now. You know, we were out here just a little over an hour ago. It was pretty sweltering.
It was.
You noticed the breeze?
I've noticed the breeze. I've noticed it just seems a smidge darker. Not a whole lot, but it is noticeable. Pretty amazing. And in just a few minutes, we are going to take one of our cameras that has a shot of the actual eclipse and where the moon is right now over the sun. So exciting to just see this and be a part of it.
And as the T-shirts in Spring City say, it's a total eclipse of the heart gland here in Spring City.
I love that. Hey, I've been told we do have a shot of it. Let's take a look. It's really amazing, isn't it?
And you know, this eclipse is making its path across the United States. It only takes an hour and a half cross country. And it hit the West Coast about an hour ago. We are in the final third of that time. In fact, it should be heading out the South Carolina coast around 2:45. But we're expecting the total eclipse here in Spring City, Tennessee in about 27 minutes.
Yeah, we noticed the first little chunk coming out of the sun about 30 minutes ago. Really amazing to watch and to follow with our special glasses and some of our special cameras and lenses. We're so glad to be able to bring this to you here.
And a great crowd has gathered. We're at Spring City Elementary School. And by the way, we want to thank the folks at Ray County Schools and Spring City Elementary for giving us this access. Beautiful playground and park atmosphere nearby. It's kind of like the festival has come to town.
It certainly is. And I would say a lot of folks are out here ready to enjoy it. Some people may still be trying to get to the eclipse. I understand there are some traffic problems out there.
Here's Michelle Herron with more.
Hey, good afternoon to you guys. You know, a little bit earlier when we were in our noon newscast, there was a lot of traffic backed up here on I-75 in Ottawa, but that's all clear now. Things just feel like a normal Monday. And what we did is after I was live, we drove. We wanted to see how far the traffic went. As soon as you got out of Ottawa, it thinned out and everything was fine. So that's good news there. But I came across, so we came back down. And so I wanted to talk to some people that were just here, came to town maybe to experience the eclipse. And that's where I met the Self family. They came here from Atlanta.
We came up here from Atlanta area and we decided to keep him out of school for a day so he could come up here and watch the eclipse.
For a science day.
Science Day.
A pretty cool science day at that. That's Chance. He's 8 years old, and he is Ginger's grandson. And so they brought him here. They were able to do some fly fishing, and they just kind of made a whole weekend out of it. Now, coming up in our next half hour, I'll explain why they decided to leave when they did and why they wanted to stay here in this area rather than going up a little bit further. That's coming up in our next half hour. Now, a traffic note for you. You know, everyone's been kind of leaving and making their way up to that 100% totality areas. And so they've had a few days to kind of do that in different waves. But once the eclipse is finished, everyone's going to pretty much pack up and want to head home. And that's where we'll see a lot of traffic issues, or at least I'm expecting. So we'll keep you updated. For now, reporting live in Ottawa, I'm Michelle Herron, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Michelle. And of course, after the eclipse passes through here, just wait, you folks around, well, Andrews and Murphy, North Carolina, McKaysville, around the Georgia-North Carolina border. It's coming your way in a few minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing how quickly this is all happening right now. Now, TDOT has been preparing for this for weeks, planning for it, putting the signs up that say don't pull over to the side of the road. Jennifer Flynn of TDOT wants people to be aware that they need to be careful. Of course, there's a lot of common sense advice in here, but they're treating it sort of like the influx of drivers that come in for Bonnaroo, NASCAR, some of the different things that happen. The goal is they want to make sure everyone is able to enjoy it and get back home safely.
And our friends at TDOT and all the area law enforcement agencies are out in full force today just to make sure there are no hiccups along the way. And you know, one thing that we've noticed today, just in on our way to Spring City and here in the parking lot, folks, we're seeing tags from Florida, Louisiana, Ontario. We're all over the place.
We have a gentleman, Nick Austin, is going to introduce us to a little bit later on. He is from Virginia and works for NASA.
How about that? In fact, Nick is sliding in here.
He's
right
going to
now.
be our
Sliding
expert. We're going to hear from your expert friend here in just a little bit.
If anyone would know about eclipses, this guy we're going to talk to later knows everything.
But it's his first one ever, his first totality. Right?
It is.
Total.
I think for a lot of people here, it's his first total eclipse, seeing one in person. And it's exciting.
It really is.
I mean, I can't take my eyes off the sky. Of course, with my glasses on.
With your glasses, all right. Let's find out if we can take another shot and show what kind of a difference there is right now.
Because it looks like the sun's almost halfway covered now, it looks like. When it gets to about 75% covered, that's when you'll start seeing what's called a shadow banding. If you look on the ground, sharper shadows from the sunlight, what's left of it coming through the leaves, the trees around buildings and things like that.
Right.
And if you look down on the ground, you should be able to see those when the sun's about 3/4 covered.
Sharper shadows?
That's right, yeah.
Wow, okay. Like
really neat stuff.
Focusing in. Okay.
And then once it's in totality, you'll kind of just see kind of those white rays of the corona, that outer atmosphere of the sun around the moon, and then you can take your eclipse glasses off during totality. But as soon as you see that sun again, put them back on.
For our viewers who may be staying inside but who have outdoor pets or birds, whatever the case may be, what should they be looking for?
I've heard that pets aren't affected too much. They might think it's nap time or something, but as far as it won't really cause much in the way of atmospheric changes that might affect them. But you might start hearing owls hooting. Songbirds normally out during the day will probably get quiet, things like that. And in neighborhoods, a lot of street lights are automatic. When it gets dark, they come on, and some of the street lights will probably come on.
And one of the students here was asking me a while ago, when it gets dark in about 25 minutes, will we be able to see the stars and planets?
Yes, I mean, we have a beautiful clear sky here over our area, so yes, you should be able to see stars. You'll be able to see some planets, probably Mercury and a few other planets, and they should be nice and bright. It'll be like a nighttime sky here. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? So glad we're out here, able to share it with you, and we'll show you as much of it as we possibly can. When it gets really dark, we're going to let you see what it looks like to be in the dark. But right now, let's check in with Tim Pham. He is nearby checking on some of the crowds who are watching this.
Hey guys, it feels like the day before Christmas, doesn't it? It's, kind of getting darker out, and that anticipation is building and that excitement is building. You can see the kids here are playing at the park here near Veterans Park in Spring City, where they're getting ready to catch this solar eclipse, a once-in-a-life opportunity, a first-time opportunity for many of these young kids here. That's the case for thousands of people who travel to Spring City to capture this event. Thousands of people flooding into this small town right now, trying to get a good spot at this year's solar eclipse. It's also been hard to find a place to stay. Also, we've seen people camping. We know that the one hotel in town sold out about 2 years ago, and the hotel owner tells us that they've had to turn people away, and local marinas where there's boats are also full too. So people are viewing this from all angles and every single inch of this city. It's kind of crazy, but people are mostly enthusiastic about it, and they're happy to have this happen in their city.
I think I read a brochure she brought home, and I realized the rarity of the event and thought this is something I want to, it's worth yanking them out of school and driving all the way down here for it.
Well, here in Tennessee, Airbnb predicts they'll host more than $2 million worth of rooms to all of these visitors. More than 13,000 people across the state will be renting out properties as well. And coming up in our next half hour, we'll tell you why so many people are choosing Spring City, what NASA says will happen here in just a little bit. Guys, back to you.
Tim, thank you very much.
Tim, thanks.
We've Are we on?
You're on. Oh, we're on. Okay, a little confusion there for a second.
We were hearing voices. What we're going to tell you there, one of the things that we've been excited about as far as the eclipse goes is the fact that the temperature is going to drop here, obviously, when it goes to night in a few minutes. So when it's moonlight, it's supposed to be, we're told, around 10, 12, 15 degrees cooler. Well, we've checked. We have our outdoor thermometer here, and we're starting at about 90. In fact, it's 90 in the shade. So in about 20 minutes, we'll check back with you.
Yeah, we'll let you know what it is. It already does feel a little bit cooler. Maybe it's just my imagination. I'm not sure.
Well, Greg Glover and Latrice Curry back in the studio. What do you all have for us?
Guys, 90 in the shade. You'll have plenty of shade in just a few minutes. Finding these things has been like finding gold bars over the last week especially. It's imperative you have these solar eclipse sunglasses or some like it to watch today's eclipse. If you're looking straight up, keep in mind they block 100,000 times more light than sunglasses. Your sunglasses, your regular sunglasses, are not safe. How do you know if you have the right pair of solar eclipse glasses? Look for an ISO 123122 is the number. You'll see the ISO level. You also want to check the manufacturer too. If you want to make sure the eclipse shades you have are certified, find that information under our Eclipse tab quickly at WRCBTV.com and inside our app. Now here's a look locally at just how in demand the glasses have been. This was Ace Hardware in Ottawa just a few days ago. Elders Ace Hardware, folks waiting in line to get a pair of glasses. Long lines there. Volunteers passed out water bottles because the shipment was delayed. It looked like some pizzas there too, Frosties as well. Around lunchtime, they treated their guests, yes, to the pizza. About 5 hours, the glasses finally arrived. People waited that long. Smiles on their faces proved that it was well worth the wait. Remember, you can only remove your eclipse glasses during totality, just that about 2 minutes worth, and then put them quickly back on.
Yeah, our coverage continues on the other side of the break. Now we're going to check in with Channel 3's Brittany Beggs. She's live at the Tennessee Aquarium here in Chattanooga, where there's a watch party for the solar eclipse. We're expecting 99% totality here in the scenic city. And as we go to break, here are a few pictures of our crew getting ready for the historic event. We're going to show you some of those, I think. And we are going to show off also, we are putting on those eclipse glasses. Make sure you have on your eclipse glasses and send us your pics to pics, P-I-X, at WRCBTV.com. There's Nick Austin right there. Greg, there we are, getting ready, looking up.
Spread outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back. We're just a few minutes away from the eclipse reaching totality in Spring City, and we won't quite see totality here in Chattanooga, but it's going to be pretty darn close.
Yeah, it certainly is. Channel 3 meteorologist Brittany Beggs is live at the aquarium this afternoon, where there is a watch party going on. Hey, Brittany, tell us all about it and what's going on there. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoons. So you are looking at these clouds that have moved out. So there's a lot more folks out here on the rooftop compared to what we saw about 30 minutes ago. The air temperature has dropped. From what I'm seeing on the WRCB weather app, it's dropped about a degree here in the past 30 minutes. But those clouds have moved out, so there's a lot more activity up here. I've talked with folks that have even traveled here from Georgia to be here. So we do have, it looks to be, I'd say about 100 people on the rooftop right now. A lot of kids. I've seen anywhere from welding glasses, welding shields, and then all, again, the Solar Eclipse glasses. So a lot of folks here. It's getting a little crowded. We still have, about, I guess, 12 minutes or so before totality, but I will say, it looks like there is a little bit of a hue here. So it's just a tad darker. And I will say, you know, the humidity is a little high, but it still feels just a tad better than what it did about, 30, 40 minutes ago or so. So we're continuing. We're going to be out here as these clouds have moved out really in the luck of time. So we'll send things back to you guys in the studio. You know, if this, to give you any more updates we will have reaction from folks later today. Reporting live here on the rooftop of the Creative Discovery Museum, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Brittany, thanks so much as we were looking at that incredible sight. But you could hear all of the people there around, Brittany. If you can't travel to watch the eclipse party, there are several places in town hosting. Of course, the Chattanooga Zoo, Rock City Gardens, and Brittany Beggs was just there at the Tennessee Aquarium.
She was at the Creative Discovery Museum. I think she said, of course, there are lots of things going on at the aquarium as well. Lots of places to see it. Don't go anywhere. We'll check back in with our Spring City crews just coming up. And then ahead, David Carnes will finally join us to talk about the rarity of what's happening today. Stay away. By the way, if you weren't able to watch the eclipse live on your television, well, we'll be streaming it at WRCBTV.com and on our app, too. Coverage continues next.
All right, welcome back. We want to check in with our crews now in Spring City.
We have Kate Smith. Full totality will happen for 2 minutes and 39 wonderful seconds there, Kate.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it here at Spring City, and I think it's safe to say that this small town of just 2,000 people has hit the cosmic lottery. Over 10,000 people are here in Spring City, all to check out that solar eclipse. Lots of people traveling internationally, and lots of students off from school today, including Signal Mountain, where my friend Noah here has been learning about this eclipse for a couple weeks now. Tell me a little bit about the eclipse and what you've learned in school so far.
Well, what I've learned from the school is that how it works is the moon covers up the sun, and then you'll see the outer ring of the sun around the moon, and that everything will go black. So,
I'm told that there's also one very important key element to watching this solar eclipse. What's that important thing?
To use these glasses here, because it can be bad for your eyes and potentially blind you. So.
No, why don't you put those glasses on for me and describe what you're seeing right now as the sun starts, the solar eclipse starts happening.
Well, you can see like the ring kind of almost of the sun, and the moon is like around it, and it's almost covering the sun completely, but not yet.
And tell us a little bit, it's getting darker and it's getting cooler here in Spring City, right? It feels good right now.
Yeah, it's cooler than it was before, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Noah, for joining us here. And solar eclipse is happening soon, so you definitely want to stick with us here on Channel 3. But for now, I'm live in Spring City. Kate Smith, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Alrighty, thanks so much there, Kate, and Noah as well. Big day for students getting to experience this. Stay with us. Coming up on the other side of the break, we're going to look at how local agencies have been preparing for today's eclipse. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Here's a look at what some of the places in our area will experience totality. Spring City and Athens happening in about 5 minutes at 2:32. Cleveland, Tennessee at 2:33. And of course, right now we are getting ready to be joined by meteorologist David Carnes and talk about the rarity of this event.
5 interesting things to impress your friends with when this all happens, and then you get to talk about it later on. David?
All right, thanks guys. Yeah, this is a really cool event, and some of you have been taking some really cool pictures. Take a look at this from Jason Sisk. Lives in Ooltewah, and he sent in this beautiful picture of the partial eclipse, and it's about 8 minutes away from becoming a full eclipse. Just a wonderful shot of that. We are looking at it just a few moments away, and it's somewhat of a rare event. As a matter of fact, the next time we see one here in Chattanooga will not be until 2200, and I will have more on that coming up in just a minute. Right now, I'll take it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much there, David.
And we'll be right back.
This is a special edition of Channel 3 Eyewitness News with total solar eclipse coverage.
Just minutes away now from the total solar eclipse here in the south. We've been mentioning the rare sight started in Oregon. It's traveling to South Carolina. 10 states in the totality line. 14 states will darken by the time it gets through.
Yeah, this has been fascinating to watch so far. Let's get a quick check with meteorologist Paul Bears, who is outside there now. And Paul, you were talking about it. It's starting to look really interesting out there.
It's very dark out here now. It's eerie. It's not the type of darkness you get even with thunderstorms. There's just a little patch of cloudiness here and there, but it's about 99% sunshine. If you're under one of the clouds in Hamilton County, because about 5 minutes ago we were here at Channel 3, the cloud was just solid, but it's broken apart here. But I'm sure in other parts of Hamilton County there's just a little bit of cloudiness. Be patient, it will break away momentarily. There's very, very little cloudiness out here. You couldn't ask for a better situation, especially north, where it's going to be in totality. So wonderful news that you couldn't gotten any better weather pretty much this time of year, because it looks like next week at this time it's going to be solid overcast with rain. So it's really worked out well. All your prayers have been answered, ladies and gentlemen. That's really good news. So we'll send it back to the Greg and Latrice.
Paul, thanks very much. Of course, totality is approaching quickly in Spring City.
All right, let's go ahead and send things back out to Cindy and David. And I'm sure, of course, there, guys.
It's dropped nearly 10 degrees.
Look at that. That's the big thing. I see that up there. You can feel the difference out there. Obviously, I know.
Folks, it is 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It sounds eerie. It feels
The crickets,
eerie.
do you hear them?
Loudly.
Also, there's a light on us, a battery-powered light, not the sun. That's why we are even lit up at all.
And in a couple of minutes, it may be a challenge here. But you can see folks reacting. You can hear some oohing and eyeing. And I'll tell you one thing, it's way more comfortable than it was about a half an hour ago.
It's totally amazing. Let's see if we can take a shot of that. We have cameras on it right now. I have no idea what you'd call that, David. It looks more like 90.
It's got to be well above 90.
Yes,
it's got to be at this point. And in just a little while, some of our friends to the east of us will be seeing this. Right now, it's Spring City. It's going to be heading on over into portions of North Georgia, then into South Carolina, and boom, it'll be gone. And, you know, since I started saying that 15 seconds ago, it just got seriously dark here.
Yeah, it did. It did. It's amazing. Look, I know. Can you see the sky? It's still blue. It's not black yet, but it is still blue. Headlights are coming on.
That's right. The automatic headlights are coming on. And we're hoping that everybody driving out there is just continuing to drive rather than pulling over, causing any traffic issues. Yeah. This is the first coast-to-coast eclipse in the United States in 99 years.
It's amazing. I don't know, can we get a shot? Brooks, can you show some of the people over there on their blankets? You hear them? Oh, my goodness.
This is when the hooting and hollering begins.
Too dark to show them.
We're just going to be quiet and let you listen.
Oh, it's gone. The sun is totally behind the moon. And you can look at it without your glasses.
100%. Listen to these people.
I'm sorry, I put my microphone down. I was so excited. That is incredible.
And as promised, we're seeing the stars. And the temperature is down to 79. It was 92 when we started.
That may be Venus right there. I'm thinking it is. See how bright that is? Oh, wow. That's incredible. Oh, and bugs are coming out.
Definitely more bugs. They're as confused as everybody else. Wow. What a great experience.
How cool for that train engineer to be pulling through here during totality, right?
Making sure he can be seen and making sure he can see everybody else.
Come on over here, Nick. Let's talk about this. See, the bugs have come out.
You can hear the cicadas.
Oh, yes.
This is, I would describe this as spiritual. I mean, this is just such a beautiful sight to see the coronal rays from behind the moon, and it's just unbelievable. I almost can't just, really can't describe it in words.
And you know, Nick, we've had plenty of notice. We've known this is
Yes.
coming for years, but I can't help but think back centuries ago when this sort of thing happened.
Oh, yeah.
With the world of sun worshipers and how freaky that must
They
have been.
didn't know what was going on. They really didn't. Yeah,
How much
I'm getting
longer?
bitten alive
I
now.
am too. They are out. How much longer will we be able to see, to look at it?
Well,
Maybe another minute?
Totality only lasts about 2 minutes and 39 seconds, so about another couple of minutes or so.
Okay.
And then as soon as you start to see those sun rays again, you have to go ahead and put on your protective eyewear. But we have about another 2 minutes or so.
And you know, we're getting the 100% totality in Spring City. That's why the population of Spring City has boomed from 2,000 to 10,000 a day. Let's talk about Andrews, North Carolina. Some of the folks will be seeing this in about 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, they're probably, they're at almost totality right now, I'm sure. And what they're going to see, just like we did here, literally in the seconds before totality, they're going to see what's called a diamond ring effect. It looks like a big dot with some of the outer rays, and then you'll see Bailey's beads, which look like little teeny beads.
Oh, it's starting to come out right now.
Yep, and then it'll move, and that's what we're seeing right now is that diamond ring effect again.
Yeah.
So now is when you want to put your glasses back on.
And
So yeah, they're going to be seeing this in just a few minutes out there.
And we're hearing
So
the
it's
cheering
wonderful.
as the sun returns now.
It's
As
unbelievable.
if they thought it might not, right?
I mean, I know we've heard the phrase before, but literally nighttime in the middle of the day. It is just unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, here's
it's great.
the mistake people make if they don't use their
That's
glasses
right.
when it starts to
You look
get out.
down, look away, and then you put your glasses on, and then you look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see people now, and I can tell you it was about 2 minutes of goosebumps and bug bites.
Oh, the bugs really did come out here in this playground area.
Those bright white rays of the corona, though, on the outside. And the thing is, total eclipses are great for scientists because it helps them study the outer atmosphere of the sun, that corona, and they can learn a lot about how it affects the Earth's atmosphere and how it affects communications systems on Earth and things like that. So they love to study the corona during total eclipses. It helps them out. Yeah.
Maybe we can, are we taking a look at that right now on the screen?
Yeah,
Here
now
you
I
see
just
it.
have a little crescent sliver up there. So
On the opposite
yeah.
side.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's a partial eclipse now. It's going to go in reverse of what we saw earlier. It's moving the other way.
All right, well, all the bugs and critters can go back to where
That's
you came
right.
from.
The cicadas are still going. They're a little confused.
Yeah, they'll stop. They'll stop in a little while.
We interrupted their nap time this
That's right.
afternoon. Well, someday, you know, your grandchildren are going to say, where were you during the great American eclipse of 2017? We're proud to say we were in Spring City, and it was delightful.
One of the best spots in the country for it. Not only because we're in totality, but the weather. The sky was absolutely perfectly clear right overhead.
We were very
Couldn't ask for
fortunate.
better weather. Yeah.
Really good. Really, really nice.
That's been a big concern.
I know that Cleveland is probably getting totality right about now.
Pretty
as
close.
well.
And, you know, I think it's April 8th, 2024. You get another shot at this, but it's
Yeah.
only about 89% totality here. We'd have to do a little driving to
Right. If you want the total eclipse, you have to go out to Missouri, Arkansas, parts of the Midwest. They'll get it there.
a couple hundred miles. So when you hear people say it's once in a lifetime, well, for many of us, it definitely is.
Really glad we got to experience that.
Very nice.
I know Brittany has been tracking this from her start at Channel 3. Brittany, we're so glad you're here with us. Tell us what's happening.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be a part of this. A lot of folks here. I've heard a lot of oohs and ahs. Children still in awe here, looking up with their parents. Really an extraordinary day here in the Tennessee Valley. A lot of folks have traveled to be here. It does feel rather comfortable, as Nick and David and Paul have mentioned. You know, the clouds cleared out in perfect, really perfect conditions here. You can see there's a lot more folks here that were here earlier, so it's certainly a crowded day. Certainly going to be a one that we do remember. Nick mentioned, you know, during that totality, the moon was a coronagraph. It blocked out the sun. So what that means is scientists will be able to see if there's different solar flares, if there's different CMEs, coronal mass ejections. So really a step forward also in space weather today. Really an experience that I'm grateful, and I know everyone here was grateful to experience. I'm grateful it's a little bit cooler now, actually, so it feels just a tad better. We're going to continue to give you this live coverage streaming online at WRCBTV.com. We'll send things back to you guys in the studio.
We'll show her the message, just let him know. That was very sweet of her to give it to you, wasn't it?
Am I on?
Well, of course, we are looking at that incredible shot, and we have to tell our viewers that we just got up. Greg just got back at our seats too. We're still catching our breath because we ran outside. We didn't want to miss this moment either. So, Greg, I think you were able to get something on your cell phone. Just a little bit there. Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah. All right, we're back after this. Stay with us.